Alright, let's talk about something that can feel a little bit scary. Presentations. I know, just the word can make your stomach do a little flip. But here's a little secret I've learned. Being able to give a good presentation, that's like having a secret superpower. It really is. Think about it. You have an idea, something you care about, or something important you need to share. A great presentation is your way to make people listen, to make them understand, and maybe even get them excited. It's not just for big-shot CEOs or world leaders, it's for everybody. You, me, that nice person who makes your coffee. You might be thinking, Ellen, when am I ever going to need to give a presentation? And I get that. But you'd be surprised. Maybe you're trying to convince your friends to go to that new pizza place you love. That's a presentation. Or perhaps you're explaining a project at work, or even sharing a story at a family gathering. These are all moments where presenting yourself and your ideas clearly can make a huge difference. It's about connection. It's about being heard. And let's be honest, who doesn't want to be heard? Good presentations help you shine, no matter what you're talking about. Imagine you're in a business meeting. Someone's droning on, slides are confusing, and you're mentally making your grocery list. We've all been there, right? Now imagine someone else gets up. They're clear, they're interesting, maybe even a little funny. Suddenly, you're paying attention. That's the power we're talking about. It can mean getting that promotion, landing that client, or just having people really get what you're saying. In your daily life, it could mean your book club actually reads the book you suggested, or your family finally agrees on a vacation spot. It's all about getting your point across effectively, and with a little bit of sparkle. So this isn't just about standing in front of a crowd with a microphone, though sometimes it is. It's about learning to communicate your thoughts and passions in a way that grabs people. It's about building confidence, not just in speaking, but in yourself. And trust me, when you nail a presentation, even a small one, it feels amazing. It's like, yeah, I did that. We're going to go through some simple ways to make your presentations less, oh no, and more heck yeah, because everyone deserves to have their voice heard, and heard well. It's a skill, and like dancing, everyone can learn the steps. Some just need a little more practice, and that's okay. Now before you start designing fancy slides or practicing your best important speaker voice, let's ask a big question. Do you actually need to give a presentation? I know it sounds a bit silly, but sometimes a presentation isn't the best way to go. Maybe a simple email would do the trick, or a quick chat, or perhaps a well-written report. You don't want to make people sit through a whole song and dance if a quiet little note would have been perfect. Think about what you want to achieve. Is a big formal talk really the answer for this particular situation? Consider your own interest and passion for the topic. Are you excited to share this information? Because let me tell you, if you're not interested, it's going to be really hard to make your audience interested. It's like trying to sell someone a car you wouldn't drive yourself. People can feel it. If your heart isn't in it, or if you feel like you're just going through the motions, maybe rethink if a full-blown presentation is necessary, or if there's a way to find that spark. Sometimes, just finding a new angle or a personal connection to the material can make all the difference. You want to be genuine up there. Then there's the practical side of things, like time. Do you have enough time to prepare properly? A good presentation doesn't just magically happen. Poof! It takes work. You need time to think, to gather your information, to create your materials, and most importantly, to practice. If you're rushed and stressed, it's going to show, and nobody wants to see that. It's like trying to bake a cake in 5 minutes. It might look like a cake, but it probably won't taste very good, so be honest with yourself about the timeline. Can you realistically pull together something you'll be proud of in the time you have? If the answer to these questions, is it necessary? Am I interested? Do I have time? Is a resounding yes, then great, let's get started. But if you're hesitating, it's okay to explore other options. Maybe you can team up with someone else. Or perhaps you can suggest a different format. The goal is effective communication, not just giving a presentation for the sake of it. Making this decision thoughtfully is the very first step to presenting like a pro. It shows you respect your own time, and just as importantly, your audience's time. And that's always a good look. Okay, so you've decided to go for it. You're going to give that presentation. Fantastic. High five. Now before you jump into writing your speech or picking out cool fonts for your slides, we need to do a little planning. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't just start nailing boards together, would you? No, you need a blueprint, a plan. This planning stage is super important. It's the foundation for everything else. And a strong foundation means your presentation house won't wobble and fall down, which, you know, is generally a good thing. First things first, really truly deeply know your topic. What are you talking about? And why are you talking about it? You should be comfortable with the material, almost like it's an old friend. If you're fuzzy on the details, your audience will be too. And that's a recipe for confused faces, and nobody wants that. Next, how much time do you have? Is it a quick 5-minute update or a full hour-long deep dive? Knowing your time limit is crucial. It helps you decide how much information you can share and how detailed you can be. Don't try to cram a whole Thanksgiving dinner into a lunchbox. It gets messy. Then think about your audience. Who are these lovely people you'll be talking to? Are they experts in your topic, or are they complete beginners? Are they your colleagues, your clients, or maybe your grandma's garden club? Knowing your audience helps you tailor your language, your examples, and your overall style. You wouldn't talk to a group of kindergartners the same way you'd talk to a room full of rocket scientists, right? Well, unless the rocket scientists are also 5, that would be an interesting presentation. Understanding them is key to connecting with them. Finally, consider the setting and format. Where will you be presenting? Is it a big auditorium, a small meeting room, or maybe even online? What kind of technology will be available? Will it be a formal lecture, an interactive workshop, or a casual chat? These details affect how you prepare and deliver your talk. For example, if you're in a huge room, you might need a microphone. If it's online, you need to think about your camera angle and background. Getting all these ducks in a row: topic, time, audience, setting, format. This is your blueprint. It makes the rest of the process so much smoother. Trust me on this one. Every great presentation has a heart, a core message, a big idea. What is it that you really want your audience to walk away knowing, feeling, or doing? Before you get lost in all the details and facts and figures, you need to pinpoint this main purpose. It's like the North Star for your presentation. It guides everything you say and do. If you don't know your main purpose, your audience definitely won't. And then everyone's just kind of floating around in space, which isn't usually the goal. Unless you're an astronaut. Then, it's probably fine. Presentations usually have one of a few main goals. Maybe you want to inform your audience, you want to teach them something new, share important facts, or explain a complex idea. Think of a news report or a science lecture. The goal here is clarity and understanding. You want people to leave saying, "Aha, now I get it." You're like a friendly teacher, sharing knowledge. You're not trying to sell them anything, just giving them the straight goods, the important information they need. This is about education, pure and simple. Or perhaps your goal is to persuade. You want to change their minds, convince them to agree with your point of view, or inspire them to take a specific action. This is where you're not just sharing information, you're making a case. Think of a sales pitch, a political speech, or even trying to convince your friends that your favorite band is, in fact, the greatest band of all time. You need strong arguments, compelling evidence, and maybe a little bit of passion. You're trying to move them from point A to point B in their thinking or their actions. It's about influence. Sometimes the goal is to inspire. You want to uplift your audience, motivate them, or touch their hearts. These presentations often tell powerful stories or share a vision for the future. Think of a moving graduation speech or a talk about overcoming challenges. It's less about facts and figures and more about emotion and connection. And then, of course, sometimes the goal is simply to entertain. Maybe you're telling funny stories, sharing amusing observations, or just trying to make people laugh and have a good time. Like, what I try to do every day. Knowing your primary goal to inform, persuade, inspire, or entertain will shape your entire presentation, from the content you choose to the tone you use. Once you know your topic, your audience, and your big idea, it's time to gather your materials. This is honestly the fun part, kinda like going on a treasure hunt. You're looking for all the information, stories, facts, examples, and data that will bring your presentation to life. Where do you find these gems? Well, it really depends on your topic. It could be books, articles, websites, interviews with experts, your own experiences, or even company reports. The key is to gather more than you think you'll need. It's way better to have too much and then trim it down than to be scrambling for content at the last minute. As you collect your information, think about what will be most interesting and relevant to your audience. Remember them? Your new best friends? What will resonate with them? What will help them understand your main point? Don't just throw in everything you find. Be selective. Look for those juicy details, those compelling statistics, those memorable anecdotes, and always, always, always make sure your information is accurate and up to date. Nothing tanks a presentation faster than sharing something that's just plain wrong. It's kind of like telling a joke and getting the punchline mixed up. Awkward. Now that you have a big pile of potential content, it's time to organize it. this is where you start to build the structure of your presentation. Most talks have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Simple, right? Your beginning should grab the audience's attention and tell them what you're going to talk about. Your middle is where you present your main points, your evidence, your stories. And your end should summarize your key messages and leave a lasting impression. Think of it like a good story. It has a hook, the main adventure, and a satisfying conclusion. Once you have a basic outline, start arranging your information logically. Does one point need to come before another for it to make sense? Are there natural connections between different pieces of information? You might use an outline or sticky notes or even just sketch it out on paper. Whatever works for you, then it's time to edit. This is where you trim the fat. Be ruthless. If something isn't directly supporting your main message or isn't super interesting, cut it out. Less is often more. A clear, focused presentation is always better than one that's rambling and overloaded. You want a lean, mean presenting machine. Alright, let's talk about visual aids like PowerPoint slides or Google Slides. These can be your best friend or your worst enemy during a presentation. I've seen some slides that are so busy, so packed with tiny text, it's like trying to read an eye chart from the back of a moving bus. Not fun. The main rule for slides is, keep them simple. Really, really simple. Their job is to support what you're saying, not to be the main event. You are the star of the show, not your slides. They are the backup dancers. Talented, but they know their place. Think of each slide as a billboard, not a novel. Use big, clear fonts that people in the back of the room can actually read. Stick to just a few key points per slide. Maybe a headline and a few bullet points, or even better, a powerful image with minimal text. Pictures can be incredibly effective. A good photo or a simple chart can often explain something much faster and more memorably than a whole paragraph of text. Just make sure your images are high quality and relevant to what you're saying. No random cat pictures. Unless your presentation is about random cat pictures, then go for it. When it comes to design, less is usually more. Avoid crazy color schemes that make people's eyes hurt. Steer clear of distracting animations where text flies in from all directions like a swarm of angry bees. Consistency is good. Use the same fonts and a similar layout for all your slides. This makes your presentation look professional and polished, not like a scrapbook project gone wild. And please, oh please, proofread your slides carefully. Typos and grammar mistakes can make you look unprepared, and nobody wants that. It's like having spinach in your teeth when you're trying to be charming. Remember, your slides are there to help your audience follow along and remember your key messages. They are not your script. You should not be reading directly from your slides word for word. If all the information is on the slide, why do they need you? Your audience can read, you know. Use your slides as prompts, as visual cues to reinforce what you're saying. They should complement your talk, not compete with it. When used well, visual aids can make your presentation more engaging, more understandable, and much more memorable. So treat them with care, keep them simple, and let them help you shine. So you've got your plan, your content is sparkling, and your slides are looking sharp. What's next? Practice. I cannot say this enough. Practice, practice, practice. You might think, oh, I know this stuff, I'll be fine. But trust me, practicing out loud makes a world of difference. It's one thing to have it all in your head, and a completely different thing to actually say it. You'll catch awkward phrases, you'll figure out your timing, and you'll become much more comfortable with the material. It's like learning a dance routine. You can watch it all day, but you don't really know it until you get up and do the steps yourself. When you practice, try to do it in a way that's as close to the real thing as possible. Stand up, use your slides if you have them. Speak at a normal pace, time yourself. This is super important to make sure you're not going way over or way under your allotted time. It's also a great idea to practice in front of someone. A friend, a family member, your dog, though the dog might not give the best feedback. Getting another person's perspective can be incredibly helpful. They can tell you what's clear, what's confusing, and if you're accidentally talking too fast because you're a little nervous. Speaking of feedback, be open to it. It's not criticism, it's a gift. Someone is taking the time to help you get better. Listen to what they have to say, even if it's a little tough to hear. They might point out something you totally missed. Maybe you're saying, a lot, or perhaps a certain section isn't quite landing. This is your chance to fix those things before the big day. And don't forget to practice handling questions. Think about what questions your audience might ask and prepare some thoughtful answers. This will make you feel much more confident during the actual Quanda session. And here's a little tip: record yourself practicing. I know. Nobody likes watching themselves or listening to their own voice. It can be a bit cringeworthy. but it's so valuable. You'll see your body language, hear your tone, and notice any nervous habits you might have, like fidgeting or pacing too much. It's like having your own personal presentation coach. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. It won't make your nerves disappear completely, even I still get butterflies. But it will make them much, much more manageable. You'll know your stuff, and that's a fantastic feeling. The big day is almost here. You've planned, you've prepped, you've practiced. You're feeling pretty good, right? But there are a couple more little things to do before you step into the spotlight. These are the pre-game checks that can save you from a lot of last-minute stress. First up, if you can, check out the room where you'll be presenting beforehand. Get a feel for the space. Where will you stand? Where will the audience be sitting? Is it a big room or a cozy one? Knowing the layout can help you feel more comfortable and in control when it's showtime. This is also your chance to become best friends with the technology. Oh, technology, it can be so wonderful, and sometimes so tricky. If you're using a microphone, test it. Can everyone hear you? Is it too loud, too soft? If you have slides, make sure they connect to the projector or screen properly. Do they look right? Are the colors okay? Check the clicker, the cables, the internet connection if you need it. Basically, test everything you're going to use. The last thing you want is to be fumbling with wires or discovering your presentation isn't compatible 5 minutes before you start. That's a recipe for a panic attack, and we don't want that. If you can't get into the room early, at least try to arrive well before your presentation starts. This gives you a buffer to sort out any unexpected tech gremlins or just to get yourself settled. Find out who to contact if something goes wrong with the equipment. Is there a tech support person on hand? Knowing there's help available can be a big relief. It's like having a safety net. You hope you don't need it, but it's good to know it's there. This little bit of advanced scouting and tech checking can make a huge difference to your peace of mind. Think of it like a pilot doing pre-flight checks. They don't just jump in the cockpit and hope for the best. They check everything to ensure a smooth flight. You're the pilot of your presentation. These final checks help you take off smoothly and navigate any potential turbulence. It's all about setting yourself up for success. When you know the room and you know the tech is working, that's 2 fewer things to worry about. And that means you can focus all your energy on delivering an amazing, engaging presentation. You've got this. All right, we're in the home stretch. Let's talk about what to wear. Now, this isn't about becoming a fashion icon overnight. The goal is to look professional and feel comfortable. You want your clothes to say, "I'm prepared and I respect this occasion," not "I just rolled out of bed," or "look at my incredibly distracting sparkly shirt." Generally, it's a good idea to dress a little bit nicer than your audience. If they're casual, maybe you go for smart casual. If they're in business attire, you match that. The key is to not let your outfit become a distraction. You want them listening to your words, not wondering where you got that hat. Make sure your clothes are clean, ironed, and fit well. Comfort is important too. If your shoes are pinching or your waistband is too tight, you'll be fidgeting and uncomfortable, and that will show. So, choose something that makes you feel good and confident. Think neat, tidy, and appropriate for the setting. It's like choosing the right frame for a beautiful picture. The frame shouldn't overshadow the art, it should complement it. Your message is the art, and your appearance is the frame. Keep it simple, keep it professional, and you'll be golden. Now let's talk about connecting with those wonderful people in the audience. They're not there to judge you, mostly. They're there to hear what you have to say. So, make eye contact. Look around the room. Connect with different people. It makes them feel included and shows you're talking to them, not at them. Smile. A genuine smile is so powerful. It makes you seem approachable and friendly. And be yourself. Let your personality shine through. If you're naturally funny, use a little humor. If you're passionate, let that passion show. Authenticity is incredibly engaging. People connect with real people. And finally, a little pep talk. It's okay to be nervous. Everyone gets nervous, even me after all these years. Those butterflies mean you care. The trick is to make the butterflies fly in formation. Take a few deep breaths before you start. Remind yourself that you've prepared, you know your stuff, and you have something valuable to share. Focus on your message and your audience, not on your fear. And remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's connection, it's communication. You are capable, you are prepared, and you are going to do great. So go out there and share your amazing ideas with the world. We're all listening, you've got this.